There is a divine unfolding that heaven has carefully prepared in response to the cries you whispered when no one else was listening, to the names you offered in prayer when no one else knew your heart was breaking, and to the secret longing you carried for someone you thought might never know the depth of your love and concern. God has heard every word, even the ones you couldn't form through your lips, and the angels have recorded every quiet petition you made in the solitude of your room. A person you lifted in prayer, whether out of compassion, sorrow, regret, or hope, is being moved by the Spirit in this very hour, stirred in ways they cannot yet explain, because something within their soul is reaching back toward yours, guided by an invisible thread of grace that heaven has ordained for this moment. Archangel Michael stands watch over this connection, guarding the space where your prayer met divine will, ensuring that no force of darkness can intercept what has already been decreed in the supernatural realm. You did not know at the time, but when you cried for them, asking God to heal them, bless them, forgive them, or save them, you sowed a seed into the spiritual soil that could only be watered by divine timing, and that time has now come. This person, the one who perhaps once walked away from you or disappeared without a trace, the one you thought had moved beyond your reach, is being led back into your energetic path not because of guilt or chance, but because heaven is ready to release the harvest of your intercession. They are carrying something with them, a breakthrough, a gift, a message, a shift in fortune that is not for themselves alone, but for you as a sacred repayment for your hidden compassion. God says, "You thought you were praying in vain, but what you didn't see is that I had already begun the transformation. I was working inside their heart while you wept in silence, aligning their spirit with a destiny that includes your restoration. You may not have understood why this person mattered so deeply to you, or why the burden for them wouldn't leave, but I placed that spiritual weight upon you because you're the only one who would carry it without seeking anything in return. And now, because you gave with no expectation, you will receive without limitation. You will not only see them again, but you will see them in a light that reveals the work I have done. Where there was once confusion, there will now be clarity. Where there was loss, there will now be increase. And where there was once silence, a voice will return to you, not only with gratitude, but with abundance. This blessing that is forming will appear to be sudden, but in truth, it is ancient. It was planned long before you were born, inscribed in the blueprint of your soul contract, marked by the ink of your tears, and sealed by the presence of angels who now surround your life like a divine fortress. You were never forgotten. Your prayer never faded, and the one you lifted up in secret is about to become the vessel God uses to elevate your life beyond anything you imagined. They're being drawn to you now, irresistibly, supernaturally, as if heaven is tugging on their spirit and whispering your name with every beat of their heart. They will not be able to sleep until they find you. They will not feel peace until they speak to you. And when they arrive, it will feel like a miracle, but it will only be the beginning. Because what they carry with them is not only a blessing for today, but a chain reaction of divine favor that will ripple into your future, unlocking doors, breaking patterns, and positioning you in a realm of influence, peace, and prosperity that no one, not even you, saw coming. This is the first sign of your next season. It began the moment you said their name in secret. Heaven never forgot. Heaven is revealing something now that was hidden even from your most intuitive moments. Something that has been building behind the scenes like a slow-moving tidal wave of blessing, prepared not just in response to your words, but to the posture of your heart when no one was watching. You were never just praying. You were interceding as a vessel chosen by God, standing in the spiritual gap when this person could not stand for themselves. And what you didn't realize is that every time you whispered their name into the silence, angels were dispatched to the places they were hurting, stumbling, or spiritually drowning, lifting them up in ways you will only begin to comprehend when you witness what they are about to bring into your life. This is not just a moment of reunion. It is a prophetic alignment of two timelines that once ran parallel and then diverged, now reconverging with heavenly urgency because your spiritual contract was never truly broken, only paused until divine maturity had occurred in both of you. While you wrestled with whether your care for them had gone unrecognized, God was using your prayers as a map to guide them through their own darkness, tracing your compassion like a glowing thread in the night, leading them back to a version of themselves they lost long ago. And now, as they awaken to this truth, they will carry with them not just gratitude, but a holy assignment to serve as a conduit of restoration, not only for your spirit, but for your destiny. This person has seen things you haven't seen. They've walked through deserts you'll never have to cross. They've failed in ways you were spared from because of your obedience. And now, they are returning with wisdom they did not possess before, humility shaped by fire, and a conviction that you are the only one who ever loved them without agenda. Heaven says, this soul carries something for you that no one else was ever equipped to deliver, and that is why I allowed your paths to remain spiritually intertwined even through silence, confusion, and heartbreak. I concealed the full truth from you for a season, not because I wanted you to suffer, but because your capacity to carry divine mystery was part of your anointing. Others would have given up. Others would have cursed my name. But you, even when you didn't understand, continued to bless them in private, to speak light into their life when they were surrounded by darkness. And because of that, you earned something beyond earthly recognition. You earned my favor. The kind of favor that cannot be stolen, rushed, or reversed. And now, that favor is about to take form in the physical world. Watch how your life begins to move with ease where there was once resistance. Watch how doors open without you knocking. Watch how people begin to treat you with a reverence you never demanded, simply because my glory is about to rest upon your life in visible, undeniable ways. The blessing this person brings will not look like what you expect. It may not come with fireworks or poetic words. It may arrive in a moment so simple you almost miss its significance. But make no mistake, heaven will confirm it with signs, synchronicities, and a sudden knowing deep in your spirit that this is the moment you waited for. This is the blessing your soul recognized before your mind could comprehend it. And it will not stop with this one encounter. This blessing is a spiritual key, unlocking a sequence of miracles so perfectly timed, so meticulously crafted, that even your doubts will collapse under the weight of God's goodness. There will be opportunities connected to this person, financial favor linked to their presence, healing that flows through your conversations, and ideas that spark breakthroughs beyond your current imagination. They will look at you with eyes that see the truth this time, not the surface, not the mask, but the soul. And they will speak to you with the weight of someone who finally understands who you are and what you mean to the divine equation of their life. Heaven is orchestrating a moment of divine justice, and you are at the center of it not because you demanded it, but because you endured. The person you prayed for is no longer who they were, and neither are you. You are ready now to receive what once would have overwhelmed you. You are strong enough to embrace the blessing without idolizing it, to love without losing yourself, to lead without manipulating, and to receive without guilt. And as they re-enter your life with hands open and heart transformed, you will realize that nothing was ever lost, only delayed, only protected, only purified for such a time as this. This blessing is not random. It is surgical, it is sacred, and it is yours. There are moments when heaven rewrites the outcome of your story without your permission, but always for your protection. And this is one of those rare divine moments where the blessing about to unfold in your life is not a result of what you said out loud, but because of what you kept hidden in your heart while the world gave you no credit for it. You didn't beg for recognition. You didn't demand applause. You simply went to your knees when no one was looking, cried silent prayers for someone who might never say thank you, and offered love so freely that even the angels stopped and recorded it in the eternal scrolls of heaven. Because that kind of love is not born from the earth. It is born from the breath of God Himself. What you must now understand is that the prayers you whispered into the silence were never wasted, never ignored, never misrouted. Every single syllable, even the trembling ones spoken through tears you wiped away before anyone could see, has been harvested in the spiritual realm and transformed into divine currency. And now it is time for that currency to return to you in the form of a person carrying a blessing so deep, so soul-specific, that nothing in your past could have prepared you for the magnitude of what's coming. You prayed for their healing, and now they are coming to offer you the peace you didn't know you needed. You prayed for their clarity, and now they return with revelations that will unlock not just your next step, but the very reason you were born. This is not an ordinary blessing. It is layered with sacred contracts, ancestral promises, generational resets, and a personal miracle tailored by God Himself to validate your endurance. You didn't just pray for a person, you prayed for a future, and now that future is knocking. You will feel in your bones before you see it in the physical. The day will begin like any other, but the atmosphere will be heavy with unspoken change. Something in your spirit will start to vibrate, almost tremble, not from fear, but from alignment, because your soul has been waiting for this exact energetic match to arrive. And when it does, the encounter will seem surreal at first. There might be no explanation, no apology, no rehearsed speeches. Just eyes meeting eyes, silence holding more weight than words ever could, and a divine knowing that says, "This is it. This is what heaven tried to tell you when you were crying into your pillow at 3 a.m., thinking God had forgotten." But He never forgot. He was just preparing both of you in different spaces, in different seasons, for one exact intersection of purpose that would bring healing to both your timelines. This person is not coming to rescue you. They're coming to co-create a future with you. They're not the old version who left, ghosted, or failed you. That version died. God resurrected only what was pure in them. The parts that match your calling, the pieces that align with your elevation, the remnants of their soul that still remember the safety of your spirit. And now, what they carry is more than love. It's insight, it's vision, it's wisdom earned through fire. And it's a confirmation of everything you dared to believe when the world mocked your sensitivity and called your discernment delusion. But heaven never mocked you. Heaven recorded every time you fought for someone with nothing to gain. Heaven watched you love through silence, love without outcome, love through rejection, and now heaven is sending the reward. You're not just going to be surprised by who shows up. You're going to be shocked by what they've become, because the person you once knew no longer exists in the way you remembered. They've been stripped, humbled, purified, reanointed, and reassigned. Their eyes now reflect eternity. Their words will carry revelation. Their presence will feel like a missing limb returned. And the blessing they carry is not just emotional. It is material, prophetic, tangible. They have connections that open doors. They have knowledge that solves problems. They have timing that aligns with your elevation. And more than all of that, they have clarity now. Clarity about you. About who you were when they dismissed you. About what you meant when you said you were praying. About how far your spirit reached into the distance when they couldn't even reach for themselves. They know now, and they're coming to make it right, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but out of revelation. And when they do, it won't be small. It won't be subtle. It will be as if heaven itself paused to witness the moment. The air will feel electric. Your thoughts will go still. Your heart will feel strangely full, even before the first word is spoken, because your soul will already know this is the moment your prayers come back to find you in human form. And when that happens, everything will shift, not slowly, not gently, but suddenly. Doors will open where you had long stopped knocking. Ideas will flood your spirit. Dreams will feel tangible again. And the loneliness that haunted you in secret will be replaced with a divine companionship designed by God, not to complete you, but to remind you that love rooted in heaven always finds its way back to where it belongs. You have suffered in silence long enough. You have watched others be celebrated while you stood in the shadows, interceding for people who never clapped for you. But God clapped. God saw. God recorded. And now, God is returning all of it, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Prepare yourself, because this blessing is not coming tomorrow. It's already moving toward you now. The blessing that is being released over your life is not delayed. It was preserved, protected, hidden until now, because if it had arrived any sooner, you would not have been able to carry it, and the person assigned to deliver it would not have been ready to carry you. But now, after all the crushing, all the refining, all the nights where you laid your head down in defeat and wondered if God heard even a fraction of what you whispered into the dark, heaven is aligning something so personal, so intentional, that your knees may buckle beneath the weight of it. You thought you were praying for them, not realizing that in the spirit realm, they were your divine mirror. You were praying for yourself, for the return of a version of you that believed in redemption, in impossible joy, in unshakable love. And now that sacred mirror is walking back into your life, carrying the kind of love that you wrote off as fantasy, not because you stopped believing in it entirely, but because the years hardened your hope into survival. But heaven does not deal in survival. Heaven deals in resurrection. And what is about to be resurrected in your life is not just a connection, not just a relationship, not even just a dream. It is an entire dimension of your purpose that was dormant until now. The person you covered in prayer without ever receiving credit, the one you carried in your intercessions while your own world fell apart, that person is coming back, not to remind you of pain, but to restore promise. This is not about romance. This is about restoration. This is not about emotional closure. This is about spiritual reactivation. You will see it in their eyes the moment they appear. You will recognize the echo of your own tears in their voice. And you will realize in a split second that every minute you spent crying into the silence was not wasted. It was planting. It was planting for this exact harvest. There will be signs before they arrive. Unexplained peace. Dreams where they appear not as they were, but as they are becoming. A sudden remembering of old prayers, old moments, old whispers that you thought had faded, but were in fact recorded in heaven's most sacred books. And as their footsteps approach your timeline, heaven will begin rearranging your surroundings. People who are blocking your view will fall away. Opportunities that once evaded you will begin chasing you down. You will sense the shift in your body, your mind, your energy. It will feel like you're walking into the next chapter before the page has even turned. Because you are. And when this person arrives, they will not come with empty hands. They will come with a key that unlocks something dormant within you. A memory, a purpose, a frequency you abandoned when life got too loud. They will remember things about you that you forgot about yourself. They will quote words you said in passing, but which rooted themselves inside them like prophecy. They will confess things that will shake you, not because they are dramatic, but because they are real. You won't need convincing. You'll just know. And the blessing they bring will not be surface level. It will stretch into your finances, your creative power, your calling, even your bloodline. They have been transformed by fire, just like you. And now, standing in front of you, they will look at you not through the eyes of who they were, but through the eyes of who they have become, awakened, surrendered, spiritually mature, and finally able to see you through heaven's lens. And when they speak, it will feel like prophecy. Every word soaked in timing. Every phrase dripping in anointing. They will not apologize with pity, but with reverence, honoring your endurance, honoring the prayers you send up when you had nothing left to give. They will see the weight you carried alone and will want to help carry what's next. Because what's coming next is not small. It is monumental. The blessing you're stepping into is not just emotional. It's geographical, generational, spiritual, financial, and eternal. You're being partnered not just with a person, but with a destiny catalyst. Someone whose very arrival will activate blessings that have been on pause for years. And this is all because of a prayer you prayed when you thought God wasn't listening. He was. He always was. He was storing every word, every tear, every sacred silence. And now, He is releasing the answer, not in the form of a miracle from the sky, but in the form of a person who has been reshaped by heaven and sent as your confirmation. Get ready, because within days, maybe even hours, the shift will begin. The message will arrive. The presence will be felt. And your life, which felt so stagnant for so long, will suddenly bloom into something unrecognizable. You will look back on this time not as the season you were forgotten, but as the season God prepared your greatest reward in silence. Your reward is a person. Your reward is an encounter. Your reward is a chapter that was always promised, but long delayed. But not anymore. The delay has been lifted. The timing is now. The blessing is here. And it's about to touch every part of your life in ways that leave no doubt. Heaven remembers what you prayed for in secret, and the blessing was never lost. It was just waiting for the perfect time to arrive.